So YouTube booted me off the monetization program along with many others a few years ago. And I haven't really made a video since, not out of spite or anything, because I didn't have anything to say really. Been really busy at work, a lot of hours, working for IBM and then later for a small company, doing a lot of interesting things, full stack development, that kind of thing. But want to get back in photography a bit, and at the same time with the COVID-19 thing, I want to have better quality video. So what you're looking at right now is a Panasonic GX85, and it looks really nice, I think. And it's using the 12 to 35 2.8 lens, which is well, pretty awesome lens. Very crisp. I'm running it at 2.8 because I can, and it lets a lot of light in. The lighting in here is kind of mediocre, but it's not terrible. It's just a couple of lamps, actually. Really simple stuff. And the background is a disaster, but that's okay. I'm in temporary quarters while my office is being rebuilt. It's fancy words for I started a reno in the basement, and it's not done yet. And I don't know when it will be, so here I am. I have been pining, actually, for a Cam Link when I realized how easy it was to use this thing. Of course, I found out it wasn't quite that easy, but it's pretty easy. So, finally scored one up on eBay. Not eBay, Amazon. Amazon had them listed at 184 Canadian, which is a pretty good price. For an American, that's like dirt cheap. I don't know if you get the same deals we do, meaning if pound for pound your dollar goes as far. It obviously goes way further in most cases because your pricing is fantastic compared to ours. But there are some things like this kind of equipment that gets shipped in and then priced the same relative. It's kind of weird, but anyway, just curious. So the Cam Link 4K is a really nice device. It advertises itself as a webcam, and it works really well. You mean the audio is super crisp coming out of my GX85 on the HDMI port. It's just amazing, really. I believe it's 422. Not 100% sure, but I think it might be. If not 420, but it looks really good. So the problem I had was I tried to run it under Linux first, and it didn't take me long to go researching it and find out it's really not a lot of fun to get working under Linux. Obviously the diehards get it to work. They screw around with the USB buses and such, and they eventually get it to work. I wasn't really up for that kind of screwing around because I have a Windows box, a reasonably powerful, if old, machine running a Devil's Canyon 4970. Which is a 4-core, 8-thread i7 running at around 4 gigahertz. It's pretty fast, or 3.8 I think. But anyway, it's a decently fast machine. So the Elgato is working really well. GX85 doesn't have a mic in port, so you can see my, where is it here? I shouldn't look at the screen to do this because of course it's reversed, but this is a giant Squid lavalier mic I bought years ago, and it's pretty good. What's interesting is I have it plugged in to, well, if I pull it out then you won't hear me, so I'm not going to do it, but it's an old Logitech dongle, very long dongle, very wide, and it has two, I'll hold these up, two of the mic and earphone port for old school mic, old school earphone, right? Mono and stereo, but I'm only using the mic input. But the nice thing is in OBS, which is what I'm using to record this, it will allow you to select that. It calls itself a Logitech headset for obvious reasons, because back in the day they actually shipped that dongle with a headset that was old school and had the two connectors. Nowadays everything's integrated USB and it's way better, obviously. But back then they did it that way, and I saved the dongle. The headset was eventually crap and I threw it away, but dongles are great for just exactly this purpose, to have something like that and just plug it in. What's really cool is that I can't see any lag in my voice, yet one of them is going through the HDMI on the same sorry, it's on the same panel, but it's two separate USB connectors. So let me get to a couple of other issues besides the Linux issue. In Windows, I just plug it in on the USB bus and magic happens and it gets seen and everybody's happy. Except it wasn't. I plugged it into a really nice 4-port USB hub and it really didn't work. It gave me fits for hours. The GX85, the D600, and the G85 all froze. They would freeze, they would work for a few seconds and then freeze, and then they would just stay frozen. No matter what I did, restart anything, nothing worked. Restarted the app, not the computer. I'm not going to keep cycling that. But what's kind of cool is that it, you know, when I did a little research, the issues seem to come down to you're just not getting enough bandwidth. And I know this is kind of an older USB hub and it's kind of not fast. And so it takes forever to move that data and it freezes. It just, for whatever reason, the apps just stop. So I got rid of that. That's not true. I lifted it out of the front USB 3 port and put it in the front USB 2 port because audio doesn't require USB 3 by any stretch. And then the video I plugged directly in. So the Cam Link is plugged directly in to the front USB 3 port, which goes right to the motherboard. So this works perfectly. There's no issue, no lag, nothing. So just be warned. Don't screw around with hubs and things if you're going to run an Elgato. It needs to pour data at you. I was shocked when I saw the first file. I had a 7-minute recording that I threw away because it really sucked. This one does too, but you know, whatever. But the first one really sucked because I was completely unprepared and I was tired and the lighting was even worse than this. Wow. So yeah, that one was 7.5 gig for 7 minutes. So a gig a minute, that seems a little excessive. This is probably going to be pretty huge too. And the reason is I keep forgetting to turn off the 60p. I don't need 60p. 30p is fine for a guy talking. So, dumb? I don't know. Anyway, that's okay. I'll be mixing it down to a YouTube size anyway. It's not a big deal. I use a Sony Vegas 14 Professional. It's decent enough. I'll have to admit, yesterday when I tried mixing the other one down and finally gave up and said, let's not do that. I didn't like the video very much. But when I was working on it, I had forgotten all the tricks in Vegas to do this, and I've made hundreds of videos. My YouTube channel has a lot of videos on it, and yeah, they all suck, but that's a different issue. But it's funny how you forget that after going a few years without making a video. So this video marks my return to YouTube. It's inauspicious at the very least, so I'm not going to expect a lot. But if you don't think this sucks completely, please subscribe. If this doesn't make you vomit, please subscribe. Press like. If you don't want to tear your hair out and put needles in your eyes, press subscribe. Press the like. Otherwise, do whatever you want. Anyway, let's call it there. I recommend, well, let me see, do the advertising. Buy a Cam Link 4K. They're really good. They don't come into stock very often. There's another site where if you want to, you can spend $770. Yeah, it's up to you. I paid 184 Canadian, so I'm pretty happy. And now that I know it works, I'm just plain thrilled. So anyway, have a good one. Stay safe. It's COVID time. Don't fool around with it. Social distance. Don't go and visit all your friends unless you want to come back with, I don't know, what do they call this one? It's not like the clap. It's like the death or something. So anyway. All right. That was really random, and I apologize for that.